In Boston, a drunkard bachelorette in her 30s dated several guys searching for true love. She is Allie Darling. She will do everything just to make a man stay. One morning, she woke up early. She slept with her cyclist boyfriend, Rick. She got up and put on makeup. Allie wants to be presentable when he sees her. She went back to bed and pretended to sleep. Rick woke up. He admired Allie's beauty. She looks great early in the morning. The lady was flattered. She pretended not to hear the compliment. She got up and cooked breakfast for Rick. The man was starving, smelling his favorite sausage. While eating, Allie asked him to be her date at her sister's wedding. He refused after knowing that her parents would also be there. Rick never wanted to be in a serious relationship with her. He only visits when he wants to. Allie was aware of their setup, and she was game to it. However, it still hurts that he refused her invitation. Allie accompanied him outside. There, she saw her musician neighbor bringing another girl again. He is Colin, a tall and attractive guy who never wants to commit to a relationship. Months passed by, and Allie and Rick broke up. She opened this up to her younger sister. Daisy knew that their relationship would never work. Her older sister hates cyclists, but she forced herself to him. Allie felt hopeless. She wondered how many guys she needed to meet to find the right one. Allie went to work and pretended she was okay. She wore her best suit and walked to her office. Early in the morning, Allie's colleagues saw that their boss, Roger, was problematic. Shortly after, he went out smiling and requested Allie to go inside his office. The lady looked excited as she sat on the couch. Suddenly, her boss said they needed to shorten their number of employees. They will terminate her for good. The lady was shocked. To make herself feel better, she asked how many of them were removed from work. Roger said that she was the only one fired. Allie rode on the subway with all her things. Her mom contacted her, but she dropped her call. She's not in the mood to talk to her. She will surely be disappointed to find out that she lost her job. While waiting for her station, she reads a magazine. It says that female Americans date an average of 10.5 males in their life. Allie freaked out. She finds the survey unrealistic. She has dated double that number. An older woman beside her also reads it. She reacted the opposite way. She finds the number overwhelming. Allie wanted to debate with her. However, they are on public transportation, and it would be embarrassing. She found the magazine interesting, so she kept it. She grabbed a notebook and listed the men she slept with. First on the list is Jake Adams. She forgot the others. Once she recalls them, she immediately logs their names into her notes. The next day, Allie went to her mom's house. Their parents were already divorced, and her dad was dating another woman. Her younger sister's engagement party will be held there. Mrs. Darling welcomed her daughter. She asked about Rick. Allie reasoned out that he was on a business trip. Her mom was dismayed. She waited a long time to meet him. Mrs. Darling is a perfectionist mom. She wants the best for her children. Among her daughters, Daisy lives the most harmonious life in a mess of love and career. Allie has wanted to please her mom ever since, so she always lies when asked about her boyfriend's job. Also, she never mentioned that she was terminated. Mrs. Darling said that her cousin Beau was present. Allie felt disgusted. She made it clear to her mom that they were only step-cousins. The lady acted that way because she slept with him. She got her pen and notebook and included Beau. Allie went upstairs to see Daisy. She asked the name of the guy who lives next door. She dated him, but she forgot his name. It was Jerry Perry. The man is also obsessed with Daisy. Her younger sister asked what she was writing, and Allie replied that it was nothing. After Daisy went downstairs, she counted all the men on her list. Allie freaked out. She has a total of 19 body counts. Allie was bothered after such discovery. She drank a bottle of wine to forget about it. The lady went downstairs, tipsy. She removed her heels to balance herself. She met Beau on the way with another lady. Drunk, she warned his girlfriend to be careful about him. Meanwhile, Daisy and Eddie looked joyful. Mrs. Darling officially announced their engagement to the guests. Allie gave her speech to the engaged couple. Since she was drunk, she was spilling random secrets about them. She revealed that Eddie and Daisy split up once. Eddie was also dating her best friend. The girl she was referring also attended the party. The crowd was thrilled. Allie continued that it was only when Daisy attended a high school reunion that they got back together. She was so beautiful that Eddie regretted dumping her. Allie jokingly said she should have participated in the reunion to meet the right man. Unfortunately, her bangs looked horrible, so she missed it. Finally, she wished happiness to both of them. Allie toasted her bottle of wine to the glass of the man beside her. Everyone burst into laughter when she broke the glass. Loud music fills the air, and the fun starts. Allie went to the club with Daisy and their circle of friends. They got bored sitting on the sofa, so she recommended that they should play the number of people they slept with. She asked permission to get some paper, a pencil, and liquor. They will surely reveal everything once they get drunk. Allie asked the bartender for a bottle of champagne. Suddenly, someone tapped her shoulders. It was her boss, Roger. Roger felt sorry for terminating her. In exchange, he bought her drinks. The lady was happy about it. She jokingly said she had no salary to pay for it. Roger knew that Allie didn't like her previous job in marketing. He encouraged her to apply for the job she wanted. He thought it was about time to seek a position and fall in love with the boss. All of a sudden, Allie confessed that she liked him. Roger was caught off guard. He's not sure if she was telling the truth or was drunk. Allie went back to her friends. She also brought with her the bottle of liquor that Roger gave. They finally started the game. Everyone wrote the number of guys they slept with. Alex was amused that her first 3 friends only had less than 10. She felt nervous because it was almost her turn to show hers. Suddenly, her wild friend Jamie had 13. Allie finally found someone with more than 10. Everyone was done showing their papers. It is now Allie's turn. She trembles as showed her number. She pretended to cough and immediately tore her paper. She raised number 9. She was relieved that they all believed her. However, one of her friends picked up the other half of the paper and found out it was 19. Daisy and all of her friends freaked out. Jamie, on the other hand, winks at her. Allie felt embarrassed, but she never denied it. She felt bothered for the past few days after reading a magazine. She had read in the article of Marie Claire that a woman who sleeps with 20 or more lovers tends to be single for her whole life. Someone said it was only an article and won't happen in reality. Allie felt relieved hearing it. However, her smart friend said that the content was true, according to a study by a scientist at Harvard. Regardless, Allie remained hopeful since she only had 19 men. She has one chance left. This time, she wanted to make the best decision of her life. She swore in front of her girls that she wouldn't sleep with the guy unless he is the one. The 20th man in her life should be her husband. Allie toasted wine to everyone. She went wild and climbed to the tabletop. She screamed that she'd only sleep with 20 men. The next day, Allie woke up with a tired body and headache. She was in her apartment. Suddenly, she discovered a guy beside her. It was her boss, Roger. She wore her clothes and rushed to the comfort room. She contacted her younger sister. Daisy congratulated her for completing the 20 men. She nagged for not listening last night. They forced her to go home with them, but she won't listen. Allie slapped herself after hearing that. She regretted it so much. Roger woke up. He was asking for a newspaper. Allie smiled as if nothing had happened. She opened the door to get it. She was startled that Colin was there. He also went inside her room. Roger shakes hands with him. Allie wants Roger to disappear. She made excuses that she will talk to Colin about the job. Colin was surprised that she used him. It was effective. Roger bid his goodbye and held Allie's hands. He expressed his intention to invite her for dinner. Allie smiled awkwardly. She doesn't want to be involved with him anymore. Colin was on the sofa watching them. He felt Allie's awkwardness with Roger. She looks uncomfortable. He helped her cover up and said they would have a tenants meeting tonight, so that she couldn't come. Allie nodded yes. She felt relieved and smiled at Colin. Roger left and said to call him when she was free. Allie accompanied him out and found a woman at Colin's apartment. She was looking for him. Allie looked at Colin. He pretended never to hear her. Colin pleaded never to tell the woman he was hiding. Allie learned that Colin sleeps with different ladies every night. He doesn't want to give them hope, so he usually hides from them in the morning. The two thanked each other. Colin said that he saw her video toasting wildly at the bar. Allie felt embarrassed. She asked how he knew about it. Colin smiled and said he found it on Google. He opened the door, and the lady had already left, so he returned to his apartment. Allie headed to a bakery to meet Daisy. She will be choosing the cake for her wedding. Instead of only tasting the cake, Allie ate everything served to them. She was stress eating after learning that something had happened between her and Roger. It was more embarrassing because it was her ex-boss. Allie blankly stared at the door. A familiar guy caught her eyes. It was Donald. He was her ex-boyfriend. She calls him Disgusting Donald because he was chubby and unattractive back then. But now, she couldn't believe that he had transformed. Donald looked attractive and slim. He's also more confident than ever. Daisy was also impressed with his improvement. Allie approached him. She acted cute to be noticed. Donald recognized her. Allie was low-key flirting with him. She plans to make him fall in love again. However, someone approached him. It was Kara, his fiancée. They were also looking for a cake. Donald looked so proud holding Kara's hands. She was pretty and intelligent. She is also an engineer, and they meet at a conference. Allie felt embarrassed. She looks older than Kara. She also regretted dumping him before. Donald introduced Allie to his fiancée as an old friend. Allie's eyes went big hearing that. She was hurt that he denied her as an ex-girlfriend. To insult Donald, Allie said that she visited the bakery to look for a cake for her incoming wedding. Her fiancé is a scientist, and he's currently at the North Pole for research purposes. After that, Allie went out and murmured. She could not move on to be introduced only as a friend. She said that he was lucky she dated him even if he was disgusting before. Daisy calmed her down and said that men are naturally attractive as they age. Hearing that, Allie realized something. She will not exceed 20 body count. She can be with her exes again. Maybe they also became attractive like Donald. On that night, Allie searched all her exes online. She also grabbed some wine and drank. She looked for them one by one. She was stressed that many names appeared. A single name reaches even thousands, and she gets tired of scanning their profile. Allie slept and never found her exes. The next day, she woke up facing her computer. There, she recalls Colin. He is good at finding people. She went outside and saw him. She offered money to help her find the men she dated. Colin refused. He teased her that he didn't want to expose his co-males. Allie was pissed off with his joke. She went inside and banged the door. She tried to think of other ways. Shortly after, an idea popped into her mind. She wore her coat and went inside Colin's apartment. The man was surprised to see her. He was with another woman again. Allie remembered that every morning, Colin would hide from his girls. Allie cried. A family member got into an accident. She grabbed his hands and said they had to go to the hospital. She also helped him pack his things. The lady was only watching them. She felt sorry for what had happened. Allie and Colin banged the door and went to Allie's room. Colin burst out laughing. He was impressed with Allie's acting. The lady said that if he would help find her exes, he could freely hide in her apartment every morning. Colin accepted the deal. They ate breakfast together. Allie gave him the list of men she wanted to find. She wondered if they were alive and single. It would also be better if they also lived in Boston. Allie instructed him to start at the top. Colin was overwhelmed with the number of people he needed to find. He teased Allie just to date a new one. Daisy's wedding is fast approaching. She asked Allie's help in finding a wedding gown. Their friends were also there to support her. Daisy went out of the fitting room, and she looked stunning in the gown she chose. It made her friends excited even more for the wedding. Allie, on the other hand, was busy texting. Colin texted her. He already found Dave Hansen. Allie was subconsciously reading it aloud. Daisy and the girls overheard her. They discovered that she was looking for her exes. They also realized that she did it to not go beyond 20 men. Daisy was surprised. She finds it useless because those men never lasted dating her. What more if she gives it another try? Allie never listened to her younger sister. She went to a club with Colin. He said that Dave was in the vicinity. He was able to track him through a website. Allie finally saw him. She was turned off that he still works as a bartender and magician. She doesn't want to waste her time dating him. Colin laughed at her. They were already there, but she backed out. He suggested just date another man. Allie accidentally said she doesn't want to date more than 20 men. Colin was amused that it mattered to her. Allie wants to be an ideal girl since men nowadays have high standards. The next day, Allie woke up late. She got up and saw Colin on her sofa. He was again hiding from another lady he slept with last night. She was impressed that he had found another girl after meeting her. There, Colin said that he had made her a Facebook account. He thought that it would be better that while finding her exes, they could also search for her online. And he was right. The number 14 guy, Evan Slater, sent her a friend request. He also tagged her in a photo. Allie was delighted to hear that. She also likes Evan until now. She went near Colin's laptop. But she got disappointed that he was married and had kids. Allie was pissed off. She threatened Colin to do his job well or else he couldn't stay in her apartment. Allie was about to have coffee, but her pot was broken. Colin apologized for damaging it. To make her feel better, he invited her to his apartment. He also ordered Chinese food for breakfast. There, Allie learned that Colin devotes space in his room to investigate her exes. He looks like a skilled spy. He has a board, and all her exes' photos were pasted there. Colin also wrote notes beside it when he got an update. It was detailed, and Allie was impressed. They had some beer, and Colin reported his initial findings. He also printed handouts for Allie to follow him. There, Allie asked if he had already found her first boyfriend, Jake Adams. Colin said that he had no information about him yet. He had a hard time tracking him. He assumed that he was wealthy. Rich people are good at protecting their privacy. Colin suggested that she should date Simon Forrester instead. He is divorced, and he lives right around the corner. Colin walked her to Simon's place. Before getting there, he gave tips on the types of women separated guys would love. He wants her to be like those ladies. Colin was confident and went inside Simon's house. He headed upstairs to look for him. Allie, on the other hand, went to the living area. She saw familiar faces in the picture frame. It was Donald and his fiancée. Donald also arrived from a grocery store. He was startled to see Allie inside. He was mad that she trespassed on his home. Allie reasoned out that she and her fiancé were looking for a house. Pierre will be going home from the North Pole. As she says that, she slowly steps to the door. Donald stopped her. She was holding their picture frame. Allie felt embarrassed. She placed it on the cabinet beside her and went outside. Donald went to the kitchen to unload his things. Colin grabbed the chance to run downstairs. While the two were arguing outside, Allie saw Simon. He only lives next door. He looks attractive, and there are no traces that he's going through a divorce. Allie dated him when she was a waitress. Simon is a British tourist she entertained in a diner. Simon noticed Allie. He approached her. He still finds Allie beautiful. The lady was flattered. She acted pretty and flirted with him. Simon invited her to play dart. Allie was game to it. She also copies Simon's British accent. Allie didn't know how to play dart, so Simon invited her to drink instead. Allie's accent was getting worse. It irritated Simon so much. He bid goodbye and ended the night. Allie returned to the apartment tired. She instructed Colin to cross out Simon. She was trying hard to sound British, but he still dumped her. Colin can't stop laughing as he listens to her. Colin invited her to the rooftop. They continued searching for Allie's exes while having a drink. Colin was able to find more men that day. Some of them are professionals but live far away. Few only lived in Boston, but they were too adventurous for Allie. The lady asked again about Jake Adams. Colin finds out that he's in Africa. He runs his family's philanthropic foundation. He's also overseeing the construction of a school there. Allie was dismayed to hear that. Colin said that he would be back soon. He suggested that she should date Jerry Perry while waiting for him. Allie saw how Colin was dedicated to helping her. She was grateful to have him. The next day, Colin was early at the park. He brought his nephew to watch the puppet show by Jerry Perry. After the show, Allie approached Jerry while holding the little boy, Justin. Nothing much was changed for him. He is still shy and weird, but his braces were already removed. Jerry was delighted to see her. He suggested that they should exchange numbers for catching up. Allie went back to Colin. He instructed him to cross out Jerry. His looks turned her off. Colin did not listen to her. He was more concerned that she was not with Justin. She was holding the wrong kid. Colin rattled. He ran to search for Justin. Allie, on the other hand, asked the little man about his mother. The kid only smiled at her. He said she looked like his mom. Shortly after, a chubby woman nagged at the kid for running away. It was his mom. Allie could not move on to what the kid said. She overthinks that maybe she looks old and stressed in reality. Colin finally found Justin. They strolled him around the park. Colin learned that Jake Adams was Allie's first boyfriend. He went abroad, and they promised never to date anyone while they were away from each other. However, Allie broke that promise. She met Jerry Perry. He's the first man she slept with. Colin laughed. Out of many men, she slept with a freak puppeteer. Daisy invited her older sister for lunch. She wanted Allie to tell their mom that their dad would attend her wedding. Mrs. Darling arrived. She was upset after knowing it. She tells Daisy that she will never participate in the wedding unless she tells her father never to come. After lunch, Allie apologized to her sister that she could not accompany her to other appointments. She will be flying to Miami and meeting someone. The next day, she arrived in Miami. She immediately went to Barrett. He is already a gynecologist and practicing his profession. Allie booked an appointment to meet him. The lady was disappointed that he didn't recognize her. She reminded him that they went to a similar university, and they dated once. Barrett could not recall it. He was also not attracted to her like he was before. She went back to her apartment and removed Barrett from the list. Allie had a breakdown. She was tired of finding her exes. She is unemployed, but she was wasting money on them. She decided to stop finally. She felt hopeless about finding the one, not until Colin said he saw another guy, Tom Piper. He is currently in Washington, D.C. He works as an aide for a senator. Allie got excited. She wants to date him again. The next day, Daisy visited Allie's apartment. Colin was also there hiding from a girl. Allie showed her a formal suit to wear at DC. She wanted to look formal in front of Tom. Colin keeps teasing her. She was irritated and wanted him to go out. However, a lady he slept with last night is still in his room. Colin pleaded with Allie to get rid of her. Allie went to his apartment crying. She pretended to be Colin's fiancée. The lady apologized and ran away. After she left, Colin went to his apartment. Allie suggested that he should be the one visiting the girl's apartment and disappear every morning like other men. Colin confessed that he already did that. He had a relationship before where he always visited the woman. He got to know her more and had difficulty breaking up with her. Colin doesn't want to be attached to anyone. From then, he never stayed in a lady's room ever. The next day, Allie arrived in Washington, D.C. On the line is Colin. They were giving updates to each other. Allie complained that her legs were numb after a long trip. She also feels uncomfortable with her formal attire. Allie was looking at the pictures sent by Colin when she bumped someone. It was Donald. They met again. He will be attending a conference. Allie doesn't want to be caught that she will be meeting an ex. She reasoned out she would visit her scientist fiancé. He will talk to the president about his discovery. Donald was amazed, but he bid goodbye because he would be late. The lady went inside a library. All its corners have security agents. She saw Tom Piper. He loves politics. Allie reminisced the time when they campaigned for the presidency of George Bush. She is happy that he is reaching his dreams. Allie went to a table. She felt intimidated as she stood in the middle of men in business attires. They were all reading books, and she sat with them. Allie has a problem. She could not see Tom from her chair. She had no choice but to request the men to carry the table. Allie instructed to place it somewhere. The men found the table heavy, so they dropped it. The lamp also fell and broke. It caught everyone's attention, including Tom. He was delighted to see Allie. He still remembers her. Tom invited her to a party. He also drove her to an expensive hotel. Allie boasted this to Colin. The man was just laughing at her. He wondered if they kissed. Allie said that they did not because he is a gentleman. Someone knocked on the door. Tom sent her a present. It was a beautiful red dress. She will be wearing it to the party. Allie felt she was a woman with how Tom treated her. Allie arrived at the party. She had difficulties walking. The dress was tight, and it was a pencil cut. Tom saw her and admired her beauty. Colin called Allie, but she canceled it. She wanted to focus on Tom. They met the senators. Tom looks overjoyed. He has always been a fan of politicians. He grabbed Allie in a corner. He said he wanted to be a senator and run for presidency eventually. He proposed marriage to Allie. The lady finds it too rushed. She said that they never even kissed. Tom replied that their wedding didn't have to be real. He only wants everyone to think he's a man. Tom confessed that he was gay. He discovered that after he dated her. Disappointed, Allie went back to Boston, still wearing the red dress. Colin was inside her apartment. He surprised her by installing colorful lights on her clay sculptures. Allie loved it. She thanked Colin for such a sweet gesture. The man also ordered pizza. He knows she's starving. While they were eating, Colin said that he found another guy. Julie, the one she met in college, and he is single. Allie doesn't look interested anymore. Colin cheered her up by playing his electric guitar. Allie felt alive. She danced to the beat and went wild. She sat on the sofa after getting tired. Colin looked at her and said he was willing to be her date for her sister's wedding. Allie looked so happy. She thought that she wouldn't have someone to bring there. She doesn't want to disappoint her mom. After drinking bottles of liquor, the two dated outside. They trespassed in a country club. Colin worked there before, so he knows the place well. They played basketball. Allie showcased her shooting skills. Colin tried to copy her, but he couldn't. Suddenly, the security guard noticed them. He wondered why the court's lights were on. Fortunately, they escaped before he could see them. Allie was laughing at Colin that he's not good at basketball. Good thing that he knows how to play guitar. She was impressed with such talent. He can make money out of that if he wants to. Colin said he never intends to make a living out of it. He only wants to play music. Colin got curious about what Allie wanted. The lady said she loves sculpting clay miniatures, like the ones in the apartment. However, she never imagined making it a business. The two continued walking. Colin thought of something. He invited Allie to try new things. They jumped to the sea beside the boulevard. They were all cold, but they had so much fun. The next day, Allie woke up with Colin beside her. She recalled something. She will be meeting Daisy. She hates tardy people, so Allie rushed to fix herself. The soon-to-be bride will be choosing flowers. In the shop, Allie sat down, holding flowers. She randomly laughs as she remembers her date with Colin. Their friends arrive. They asked Allie how her date with Tom and Jake went. The lady replied that Tom was gay and Jake was in Africa. She doesn't care about them anymore. What matters most is she will have a date at the wedding, Colin. Daisy was shocked that she would invite him over. The ladies confronted her if she had slept with Colin. They also warned her never to fall for him. He looks like a stud, not a husband material. Allie denied their speculation. She made it clear that they were only friends. Later that night, Allie was sculpting clay. She wanted to gift it to her sister. She couldn't focus, recalling what her friends had said. She was hurt for Colin. Even if he slept with many girls, she knows he has a good heart. Suddenly, Colin's phone beeped. She opened it and discovered that he already had Jake Adams' contact number for a long time. Shortly after, Colin arrived. He's in a good mood, and he brought her a meal. Allie confronted him if he had Jake's number. He denied it. Allie was upset and went to the kitchen. Colin explained he never bothered to tell her because they had a great time last night. He confessed that he was falling in love with her. He was never serious to women. This time, he's sure about her. Allie finds him crazy. He is not the guy she wants to date. She wants Jake over him, and it will never change. Besides, he looks like a guy who's only appropriate for dating, not marriage. Colin was hurt. He walked out. Allie left a voicemail for Jake. It was a long message. She hopes that he will respond soon. The next day, Daisy invited Allie for lunch. They will be meeting their father and his girlfriend, Jacinda. Daisy pleaded with Allie to tell their dad never to attend the wedding. They finally arrived. Mr. Darling said he could not wait to see his daughter in the aisle. He was looking forward to attending her wedding. He will also bring Jacinda there. Allie's phone rang. It was Jake Adams. Allie got so excited and stood up from the table. Because of that, Daisy failed to tell her dad never to attend, so that their mom would witness the wedding. Later that night, Allie looked stunning in her black dress. She will finally meet Jake Adams. The lady arrived early at the restaurant. She was starving, so she started eating. Shortly after, Jake came. He looks attractive in his suit. He never aged, unlike other men that Allie dated. While they are dining, Allie finds Jake intimidating. He was boasting about his career. Allie was pressured since she had no job. When the man asked what she was doing, she replied she was currently into arts. From marketing, she shifted to sculpting clay miniatures. Her creations are more on urban scenes. Jake wanted to see all of it. Allie brought him to her apartment. He was impressed with her talent. The next day, Daisy went back to the boutique with her sister. Allie keeps mentioning Jake. He still looks attractive like he was before. Daisy went out of the fitting room. Allie wondered why she was choosing another gown again. Daisy gained weight after feeling stressed about how she will invite her mom. She's also afraid to tell her that her dad will bring his girlfriend. Allie pitied her. She promised to help her inform their mom. Mrs. Darling was so mad at them, especially Allie, for being secretive. Daisy trembled out of fear. Their mom already knew about it. She showed them a magazine. She was referring to Allie and Jake's photo. It was published in a magazine. She wondered why Allie had never shared that they were dating. Mrs. Darling wants Jake to end up with her daughter. She even kept their old photo when they were dating in high school. Allie was surprised to see her mom happy. She finally did something that pleased her. Mrs. Darling asked if Jake would be her date at the wedding. Allie responded yes to never disappoint her. Hearing that, she became excited to attend the wedding. The ladies were confused. She thought she would never come. She replied she couldn't miss her daughter's most special day. Daisy felt relieved. She has nothing to worry about anymore. Wedding came. Allie was all dressed and went out of her apartment. She was surprised to see Colin in a suit. Allie felt nervous. She forgot to tell him that Jake would be her date at the wedding. Even if it was awkward, she asked him where he was going. Colin will also be attending a wedding, but not Daisy's. At Mrs. Darling's mansion, the bridesmaids rattled that Daisy's dress cannot be zipped. Allie came and asked them to calm down and relax. The coordinator went inside and informed that the harpist could not perform after an injury. He promised the bride that he would find a replacement. He listed all the weddings that would be held that day to ask for an available musician. Daisy walked down the aisle. The wedding looked so romantic, leaving everyone in tears. They became more emotional when the couple recited their vows. Allie was also teary that her sister had finally found her true love. The guests cheered as the couple kissed. Allie continued crying out of joy. At the reception, Mrs. Darling was pleased that Jake came. She was enjoying his presence, and they danced together. Allie was looking at them from afar. She was all alone until her dad approached her. Mr. Darling asked his daughter if she was happy. Allie was caught off guard. She nodded yes but didn't look into her father's eyes. Romantic music filled the air, so the father and daughter slowly danced. Jake pat Mr. Darling's shoulder. He wants to ask for his daughter's hands. He led her to the dance floor and hugged her. They enjoyed the moment as the soft music played. There, Allie admitted that she dated 19 men after him. She also apologized that he was not the first man she slept with. Jake looked disgusted. He jokingly said that she was gross. However, he thought that she was only joking. He said he might not be her first, but he will make sure he would be her last. He invited the lady to go to France with him. He has a project, and he wants to bring her. They will stay there for 6 months. Allie did not react. She was thinking twice if she would go. The coordinator requested her to give a message to the newlywed. Allie said that she was afraid before when Daisy dated Eddie. She thought that her attention would all be on him. But as time passed, she witnessed that Daisy was more of herself when she was with him. She did not have to pretend to be someone else because Eddie loved her for who she was. Allie was in tears, recalling the time when they were little. Back then, she was the one teaching her different things. But now, Daisy taught her that being in love means being yourself. The guests were all sobbing. They clapped after her heartfelt message. Allie talked to Jake. She has something important in Boston that she cannot leave. She declined his offer to go to France. Allie also wants to break up. He's too perfect, and she feels that they don't match. She apologized that it took her some time to realize that. She was also pressured, knowing that her mom loved him so much. Mrs. Darling wondered why Jake had left. She was so mad at Allie for letting him go. The lady replied that she wanted a man who wholeheartedly accepts her even if she slept with 20 men. She also wished to be accepted by her mom for who she is. She did not live the perfect life she dreamed of her. Daisy felt bad for her sister. She wanted her to know that she was also imperfect. Daisy is 4 months pregnant. She kept it a secret, afraid that her mom would get mad. Mrs. Darling hugged her daughters. She felt sorry for pressuring them with life choices. Allie ran to the coordinator. She asked for a copy of the wedding scheduled that day. She rushed to the parking lot after. She trimmed her dress to move freely. There were a lot of cars, and she didn't know what to use. She grabbed a key to a blue car and drove it. She visited the weddings on the list, hoping to find Colin there. Allie went from church to church. She even went to Donald's wedding, and he thought she would create a scene. It was already evening, but she never saw Colin. She got stuck in traffic, so she left the car. She stole a bike and gave its owner the car keys. She passed by a wedding reception, the remaining wedding from the list. Colin was there performing. Allie climbed the fence to get near. She approached him and pleaded to talk to her. She said that she had something to say. Allie apologized for everything she did that hurt him. She's the happiest when she doesn't have to pretend to be somebody. When she is with him, she's more of herself. She knew he accepted her for who she was, even after learning that she had slept with many men. Colin was also sorry. He feels he's nothing compared to Jake. He knew he would never win against him. Allie smiled and said that there was no competition because she was choosing him. He never took advantage of her when she was drunk. For her, he was the most decent guy she had ever met. Colin could not contain his happiness. He kissed her and admitted that he had dated more than 300 women before her. It was never an issue to Allie, she only laughed at him. Colin, on the other hand, is the 21st guy she slept with. The next day, the couple receives a voicemail. It was from Allie's ex-fling. He denied that he had slept with her. Hearing that, Allie rejoiced. Colin is her 20th.